You are tuned in to the New Old Heads podcast, premiered every Thursday at noon at bringingdowntheband.com and brought to you by No Bad Ideas, Coleman Dental, and Printfinity. Support the New Old Heads by visiting our Patreon at patreon.com/New Old Heads.
Episode 67 of the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7th. I make beats. I have the hard drive to prove it, and I definitely want that smoke. And directly in front of me, the maestro, Lonegevity.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
Swell.
Pronunciation.
Yeah, I like the Bears Cup two-facing to match the No Bad Ideas hat. I like that.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of the color.
Yeah, I see what you did there. I like that.
Yeah, it was an accident.
I was trying to give you peas, though, but never mind.
Well.
Diagonal as always, DJ Jay Diff.
You're always diagonal, man.
Yeah.
Always diagonal.
Yes, sir.
Nothing special. Salutations.
Good to see you, brother.
Hey, I'm here.
Shout out to Adidas. We see you with the Texas A&M gear.
Hey, it just matches my shoes.
You know I like those Adidas.
Word.
Yeah, mid-cut. I like those. We have to talk. We don't wear the
Classics.
same size. We can't talk about those. Those are classic, though.
Yeah.
They shell toes on the front, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yes,
I like
indeed.
that.
Yeah.
To my immediate left, as we say all the time, Mr. Wavy Light-Skinned Girls.
You always got to start.
Now.
You always got to start.
The voice is what I call him, the voice of Indianapolis. All the Wavies do flock towards him. The one and only Jay Moore is in the building.
What's going on, fellas?
Good, man. Glad to have you.
Okay.
We're starting to get spoiled, man. We having you a lot,
No,
brother.
man. I'm happy I've been filling in for my man Spoolz. But
Shout out to Spoolz.
I'm excited to get him back on here. I miss his contribution, man.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
Spoolz is out there on business, handling that real life. You know
I
what
think
I'm
I
saying?
saw him out there riding in Philly.
I saw.
Hopefully he wasn't the guy that was eating the horse turds.
Oh, wow.
You know what? Somebody at work
I mean,
told
I
me
love
about
my
that.
team, but really? Yeah.
I didn't see the video. You saw
I
it.
didn't see that.
Yeah, I saw that. It was bad.
That's pretty
Somebody
bad.
did that in Cleveland, too, when the Cavaliers won.
Why would you eat horse shit?
I don't know.
Why would you let your friends, someone that you care
Those people
about,
are
go
not
out
your
like
friends.
they're not
Nah.
your friends?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Now, Spool's out there trying to get Meek out.
Yeah.
is that what he on?
Yeah.
That's the reason why
Shout out to Meek
Spoolz
Mill.
has been missing for a few weeks.
Okay.
He's trying to campaign to get Meek out.
He actually made it so the Eagles played Dreams and Nightmares
Yeah.
when they ran out into the field. That's why they won the game. They
Yeah,
played
y'all
that
should
Meek.
thank Spoolz next time y'all see him.
Yeah, if you're
Shout out
Eagles
to-
fans.
Shout out to Spoolz trying to get McMill free. We appreciate you out there. Make it back safe. I actually
Indeed.
saw Spoolz on Sunday. He gave me some wax. So shout out to the homie. Episode 67. I don't have anything prepared. I'm not going to lie and say that I do for that number. Feel free to jump in if you do.
That's a
we,
show
we
prep
missed
always
we
forget.
missed the boat again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Spoolz is usually just on point with that.
He
so.
usually is. I would almost say I wish we had like a Black History Month fact.
Wow.
It's
How
like
about
it
that?
knew. It knew.
Yeah, that's kind of scary, actually.
That's Ghost in the Machine, bruh.
Wow.
All right.
He didn't even do it.
He didn't do it. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Huh.
Oh, I felt like a breeze come through here, too. We gotta
Interesting.
go. Shout out to Lone and his Ghost gang.
I feel like that's Brad. Like,
That's
Man,
what I was thinking
that's
too.
Crazy. I
He
can't
might-
believe, that actually was timed perfectly,
Yeah,
too.
bruh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that we didn't have a Black History fact or a jersey number.
Yeah.
That we could refer
Yeah.
to. Okay.
Damn.
This is gonna
And I
be-
keep hitting the mic.
It's all good, though. We ain't going there. Jay Moore, are you pulling something for me? It is February. You got anything for me?
Don't. That's a lot of pressure.
It is. We can come back to it now.
Yeah, we definitely
Yeah.
got to come back
All right,
to it.
let's,
Come back
we'll
to
come
it.
back to it. So episode 67, we will hold off on the title until Jay Moore comes up with something.
Okay. That's me.
But we can go ahead and jump into obviously the Super Bowl. I'm so excited New England lost. I mean, it's really, really exciting for me to see not only Philly win, but there's so many hip hop references I can use now to troll New England.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I'm just using Mad Beans verses and ball security. I'm hashtagging that bread and butter. You know what I'm saying? Great song by Beans, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
To see Tom Brady actually lose the ball and force them to, pretty much trick the game off, made my year, if you ask me, as a Colts fan.
That's what's up.
I don't care that they lost. 41-33 was the score. Nick Foles, though, to go to the other side, played his ass off. Carson Wentz got hurt, I think about 4 games before the season was over. Dude came in, steadied the ship, shot down Tom Brady, and won the Super Bowl. So shout out to the Eagles. They did the impossible.
You know, and they played to win instead of how the Jacksonville Jaguars played. That was not to lose.
Facts.
And I think that's a big deal. And the thing is, when you look at the history of this Patriots team that's been in all these Super Bowls, like, they've never blown anybody out. Like, they won their first 2 by field goals. They won the largest margin they had was last year when they had the 7-point. You know, of course, you won in overtime with the touchdown.
Yep.
So we're not talking about like when the Cowboys were in the 90s and they were just running these other teams off the field, or those Redskins teams that were, you know, when even though it doesn't have anything to do with 67, Doug Williams, when he won the Super Bowl, first black quarterback to win the Super Bowl, they did a nice story
Shout
about
Joe
him.
Gibbs.
And and the thing is, I know for some sports fans, and if you're a Redskins fan, it's like, oh yeah, my team won. I remember my parents having a Super Bowl party and how big of a deal it was.
Yeah.
To see Doug Williams not just play, but completely outplay John Elway on that big stage. So, you know, and the thing is, now we don't think about it as much. Like, it was like, you know, it's like, oh yeah, you know, Jacoby Brissett, you know, it used to be a thing where, like, you know, remember Warren Moon had to go. Yeah. He had to go to Canada. Tony Dungy, you know, he played Warren Moon in I want to say the Rose Bowl. They played each other in a bowl game that year. Yeah. And when Tony Dungy got drafted to the Steelers, they said he had to go to defensive back if he wanted to play in the NFL. Yeah. So they used to tell basically all these talented black athletes who put up numbers in college, they're like, you either are going to have to convert to another position or you're going to have to go play in Canada. Facts. And so now that's not, you know.
So Dungy was a quarterback?
Dungy was a quarterback.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You never really hear about it.
Yeah. And he wasn't just okay. He was really good.
He was really good.
So, but, you know, like I said, it just comes full circle. He's the first African-American coach to win a Super Bowl as the head coach. So
and the thing about the Super Bowl, there's multiple things you could talk about. You can go from the game standpoint. Terry also brought up JT for the halftime show. Mm-hmm. And the comedian Sinbad also, I saw a clip of him. He actually was snapping because, to your point, what you brought up before we started, that Justin Timberlake, by the way, I said JT, but who's a dope artist, by the way. I actually like his new album.
His new album is terrible.
I like it. Only heard the first 5 songs.
Yeah, man.
It's
a complete piece of work.
It's
horrible.
Like this.
This
is what I'll say.
I like the first 5 records.
Yeah, this is what I'll say after listening to Sir.
Okay.
Sir has kind of set the stage for an R&B album to me for the year.
Fair enough.
Justin Timberlake came out, and I was actually anticipating this release because
he drops
pretty good albums.
Yeah,
I like what him and Timbo do though. They always
but
push
it's cool.
Cool.
Yeah. As a whole,
it's cool.
It's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah. I mean, like this one, man. I hear him trying to do the folksy, like little country rock thing.
It's called Man in the Woods, I believe.
But then there's some songs I was like, okay, are you trying to lay like synth trap beats under your folk songs?
Hey, Timberland laced him on the ones I heard.
Was it
Timberland always laced?
I mean, like
they do great work together, man. If you think about it,
but I don't know. Maybe I have to listen to it again. But I was like, this is all over the place. I listened to the whole thing because thing is, I'm looking for anything different that we play in the club and get away from some of the stuff that I have to listen to over and over. And so I was hoping there were some hits or he'd have that magic that he can bring to the club and kind of lighten things up. But man, I was like, whoa, man. I mean, like I said, 2020 experience, dope project.
Dope project.
But this year, I don't know.
I'm coming to you, Terry, because I saw a clip of Sinbad snapping. He was talking about Timberlake and how he really didn't fool with Prince like that on the low. And I remember you bringing that up. Did that come to your mind when they had which I thought the banner was dope? They had his picture come up as he was playing the piano. I thought that was cold. They had the city lit up as well with the symbol. I thought that was dope. But what was your take on it overall?
I think it was a nice gesture.
Okay.
But considering the fact that him and Prince, it wasn't just Justin Timberlake having an issue with Prince.
Right.
Prince had an issue with him as well.
I could dig it.
So it was kind of on both sides, both ends of the spectrum. But Prince did not want if his untimely passing came.
Yeah.
He didn't want to be immortalized, so to speak, on the stage like that. He said he didn't want to be in a holographic.
Hologram,
He said it was demonic, pretty much.
Yeah.
If you saw what they did with Michael Jackson that one year, that was so bothersome. That was problematic.
I saw an Eazy-E hologram. I saw a Tupac hologram.
Yeah, all that is just wrong.
Yeah,
that shit is weird.
And honestly, like, the Justin Timberlake halftime performance, like, I didn't really watch the game like that. Like, I kind of stuck to my guns. It was hard. I was happy that the Patriots didn't win. I want
to give you peace for that before you continue, because you were very, very consistent in your stance throughout the course of the year. I saw a lot of people that took your stance towards the NFL, but will post updates about the score and fantasy. I'm like, you can't have it both ways.
You can't participate in fantasy sports and NFL if you are boycotting.
And Lone as well he always said his I guess his NFL was limited this year, but you guys seem to, from what I saw, actually were consistent and stuck to it. So I give y'all props for that, because I saw me and Il Brown were talking about this the other night. Shout out to the homie Il Brown in Chicago. I just saw that video with the Bump J record he has. I saw a snippet for that, so shout out to the homie. But we talked about how there were so many 50-50 people for the NFL. So I just wanted to commend y'all, because you guys were very, very consistent. But go ahead. I apologize. Go ahead.
But yeah, they had problems with each other. They didn't really respect each other like that.
Yeah.
And like I said, the gesture was cool, but this man said that he did not want to be remembered like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you pretty much went against his wishes and did that. And it wasn't even, I think, I've been hearing a lot of mixed reviews about Justin Timberlake's performance. They said his
sister was cool with it. I saw somebody say his sister.
I mean, and
Sheila E. were like, we cool.
His sister's not him.
Fair enough.
She didn't.
Yeah. Fair enough.
She's not the one that said that.
I can't argue with you.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, his wish was not to be seen like that after he passed.
I'm playing devil's advocate just because they actually said it, but I agree with your point overall.
Right.
I agree with you.
But the performance overall, it was okay.
Yeah.
I seen some people saying that it was the best halftime performance at the Super Bowl they had ever seen.
Nah, Bruno smashed him.
Come on.
It wasn't even the best one of the 2010s.
Right.
So let's just calm.
Get out of here.
With that.
Y'all do know Michael Jackson did it. You did see Prince do it. Like
Bruno Mars body did it.
You just seen Beyonce did a way better job than Justin Timberlake did.
Yeah.
But Justin Timberlake was smart. He didn't play a whole bunch of those new records either.
Exactly.
Now to his credit though, he went back in the vault and brought the Heat records out.
He was shooting.
You know what I'm saying? So he was shooting his shot with the records. Like he definitely flossed on his catalog. Like you got to give him props for that. But I thought the Prince part was basically the best part in my opinion. Like,
I do like the fact that they lit the city up purple.
That was
really nice.
That was dope.
Because it was in his hometown. That would have been dope if the Vikings actually made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's just not set up for that though. Yeah. Like think back when the Colts, we were actually good during that time when the Super Bowl came here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Peyton was hurt though.
Yeah. That's why it was cool that his brother beat Tom Brady in our city.
Yeah.
That's what made it all the more better.
I felt like we kind of halfway low key.
It did feel like a Colts victory. I'm not even going front.
But when it would have been cool, but you got to understand, like the Super Bowl is such a corporate event that the people in those aren't fans,
right?
I mean, like there's some that are there. I'm not going to lie, because but it's such a ridiculously expensive thing to go to. Like
it's an experience.
That's so much corporate money. Like that is a corporate getaway. That's for the journalists and clients of all these sponsors. That's not for the average fan to go and enjoy a football game.
Lone, did you peep any, or you pretty much you didn't really rock with it?
With what?
The Super Bowl as a whole. Like, did you?
No, I didn't. Only from what everybody's talking about.
Okay. Fair enough.
It's like I said somebody made a comment earlier this week. The only games that I've seen have been at people's houses.
Yeah.
And the Bears game that I went to that I bought a ticket from Spoolz friend or whatever.
Shout out to Tino. I think y'all saw him as well.
Yeah, ran into Tino. What up?
Okay.
But yeah, those are the only games that I've seen this year. So.
Well, let's.
Go
ahead, Jay.
No, because it was because and the thing is everyone who's been out, because I haven't had anything, because there have been people who've had bad things to say about people who boycotting, and I was like,
all year.
I was like, for
all
what?
Year.
Like, first of all, I respect anybody who took that stance. I'll be honest, I didn't take that stance. Like I still watch Steelers games when
I
came
wasn't
on.
consistent. I will say that I wasn't.
I did.
Consistent.
If the Steelers came on, I'm kind of like, that's my team. I did watch, but I brought this up to a friend of mine. I said, I quite honestly have been boycotting the NFL for years, and I didn't even think about it because
that's fair.
I've never paid to go to a Colts game. It's always been a corporate situation, or
you ain't have to.
I mean, that's
stunting.
You ain't have to stunt
101.
Like
because when I'm in that luxury box, enjoying the nacho bar and whatnot.
I feel you, but amongst us common folk, you ain't have
halftime.
He get extra toppings on his nachos too from the back.
But amongst us common folk, brother, you ain't have to do it like that.
Even when I went this year, and I was on the field for.
We saw you on the field with Metronome on the Titantron. We saw you.
So I've never.
Ain't that what it's called?
I don't know.
It's called a Jumbotron show.
Same thing. I'm old. I apologize.
Titantron.
Ain't a Titantron?
Who's ever called it a Titantron?
I'm about to find it. Hold on. Go ahead.
I wish I had this bell right
Fake
now.
news.
Go ahead. I'm going to find it.
Anyway, so and then I thought, like, I because I watch, I don't have cable, like none of my numbers, because I'm watching over the air, it doesn't register to Nielsen at all.
Right.
Because if you do have, so I don't buy any. I think I have one official Steelers jacket that I bought maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
I got a lot of coat stuff that I did not rock. I got a real nice coat jacket.
So
yeah,
honestly, the
Probably
NFL hasn't gotten $1 out of me probably in the last 5 or 6 years. I mean, the NHL's got, as you can see on every basically podcast, the NHL's gotten plenty of money out of me.
I've been to maybe 2 football games in my life. So
I mean, and like I said, I understand people's stance. I respect it.
Sure.
But, I'd also challenge those folks as well because, just like I spend $10 a month on, my membership to the local PBS station here in town and, give to other small charities. I saw the things that Colin Kaepernick was setting up.
Yeah. Shout out to Cap.
I made it a point to, I didn't protest by just not watching television. I made it a point to show my support for the things that financial support, not just retweets, to show my financial support for the things that he has put up as priorities. As far as, it wasn't a lot of money, but I think if you have been, because I've like I said, I follow a lot of quote unquote woke folks, and a lot of them do follow me and check out the podcast. I would challenge all those folks who tweeted about how they did not watch the Super Bowl to dig in their pockets. Go on to Colin Kaepernick's website. There are plenty of links up there to different organizations that are doing work within the community, even if it's just your local Meals on Wheels, if it's the Innocence Project, which isn't one I think that's on there, but that's one I've given to before because it basically gets people who've been unjustly incarcerated and been railroaded by the system. It pays for their defense and to get their DNA tested so we can get them out of prison. I would challenge all those people to do something more than retweet and post, slashes through the NFL Shield, because that's nice. It does let people know how we feel and not watching and not spending money. That's a statement too. But, the statement really needs to be felt within the community.
Exactly.
It really needs to be felt by you pledging your money. And the thing is, all those organizations he gives money to, those things have been vetted, so that money is going to those people. Right. For the airlifts that he's doing to get people in Africa who are starving some real money and help people on the ground. He's got that money on the ground and doing that work. And one of the things I got to shout out Colin Kaepernick, just when I saw he hit his $1 million pledge, which is just dope.
Very dope.
Is sometimes I think we're more worried about him getting back into the NFL than he is, because one of the things they haven't been able to take from him is his smile. This brother looks happy. Yeah. This brother, I want him back in the NFL. I do think he was railroaded. I do think he's been blackballed, because you can't tell me that the Cleveland Browns couldn't have used Colin Kaepernick this year. How do you?
But I actually feel that same sentiment that a lot of people are riding for Colin Kaepernick to get back in the NFL, and he's not really adamant about it like that.
I don't think he cares.
I think he cares, but you know what?
He cares to a certain extent, but I think more people took it as something else. It was more, like, for me personally, it was more about the whole organization You know what I'm saying? It wasn't
the collusion. I do believe there's been collusion to keep him out of the NFL.
Exactly. It wasn't really about Colin not having a job. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. That was part of it, but it was just so there was just the domino effect from that happening, and then of course the people taking the kneeling a certain way and trying to give it a whole different description than what it was.
Right.
That's what kind of drew me to wanting to protest the NFL.
No, certainly.
All that I stood for.
I respect that. Like I said, I respect everyone who has that stance, but sometimes like I said, I've just noticed I feel like people are so overzealous about it. I was like, okay, well, what's your next step?
Right.
You know, are you just saying this because it makes you sound woke and conscious?
Exactly.
Or are you actually about that action? Do you actually know about what Colin Kaepernick is doing other than not being
and
in
what
the
he
NFL?
stands for?
Like I said,
rather than it just being the next hashtag or popular thing to do and say.
Yeah, you just
because a lot of these
woke.
people were probably watching football every Sunday as well.
You're right.
There's
jump in, Long.
I was just gonna say to Jay Moore's point. There's a lot of local organizations as well that you could get involved with. Local
𝐀𝐿𝐴.
communities.
Yeah.
𝐀𝐿𝐴's one.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a variety of things going on in wherever you're listening at, your own local community.
Yeah.
That would benefit from money as well.
Right.
Yes.
So say if every year, say you said, okay, I didn't go to a game this year. Okay, that $200 or $250 that you would have spent going to a game, if you just kept that in your pocket, that's really not the spirit of what Colin Kaepernick is doing right now.
Even if I'm going to the game, I ain't dropping $250.
Oh, remember, when I go to the game, I drop nothing.
Yeah, I'm not dropping
$250.
$250.
I can dig it. I can dig it.
I'm the type that even I rock with the Pacers hardcore, and I will buy a ticket.
Where you gonna buy the ticket at?
I might get a ticket that's nosebleed-esque, and I will end up sitting in the restaurant.
Yeah,
that's right there. Because all you gotta do is go down there and buy some food and sit there and stay.
Yeah,
perfect seat.
Well,
you pay $15.
I want to jump into
use your resources.
I want to jump into another, I guess, portion of the Super Bowl. Side note: the 𝐶𝐿𝐴, I got it confused. It's a massive screen at wrestling venues.
Oh, okay.
They show wrestlers' entrance videos while their entrance song is being played in the back.
Is that what you were thinking about?
𝐶𝐿𝐴.
Yeah, it's big. I mean,
okay.
you fool with Raw, right?
No, I don't.
Okay, never mind. You wouldn't know nothing about it. Okay.
No, I wouldn't. I stopped watching wrestling. Wrestling.
My uncle says wrestling.
1996.
Maybe around that time.
When was the NWO popping?
That's 90.
That's late 90s.
Late
98,
90s.
99.
I was out before they started.
Yeah.
Okay. That kind of drew me back in for a minute, but then I was like, nah.
It's a soap opera.
Hogan had the black beard for a second. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He tried to be a thug.
He had a black beard but his mustache and goatee was still blonde.
Yeah, he's trying to be a thug. We ain't buy it though. Shout out to Kevin Nash. Anyway.
Kevin Nash?
Yeah. NWO.
Oh, okay.
Come on,
Like
man.
I said, I haven't been. I'm not familiar.
I used to watch wrestling. Shout out to Sting.
I'm
too.
thinking of Kevin Nash, that hoops.
Steve Nash.
Steve Nash. Okay.
Yeah, that's all right.
I
Don't worry
stand corrected.
about it. That's all right. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Let's get to the streets. Literally.
𝐶𝐿𝐴.
Literally. So there's a show called Fox and Friends.
Yeah, I've heard of the show.
Yeah, so they were covering
Friends.
the celebrations that were going on
friend
in
of
Philly.
mine.
Celebrations.
So before you even start,
Yes, sir.
I haven't seen any talk about the rioting going on there at all, but I'm sure that they did not address it as such.
Oh boy.
How did they spin it?
Let's see.
Let's see. So
Let's see what these thugs are up to.
I like what you did there. I wish I had a sound effect. So the host for Fox and Friends on Monday refused to say that a celebration of the Eagles Super Bowl win turned into a riot, even though the mostly white crowd started fires, flipped a police car, knocked down every light pole near City Hall.
Hold on.
Also flipped a Prius.
They flipped a police car.
Flipped, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You mean destroyed? Destroyed a police car.
Let me run this back through one more time for you. Flipped a police car, knocked down every light pole near City Hall, and started multiple fires.
But we were mad at Beyonce for standing on top of a police car.
Hold on. Check this out.
In a music video.
Yeah.
Brian Kilmeade, who's is a co-host on the show, he says, this is a nice celebration.
Oh.
This should be a time for law enforcement to relax.
Interesting.
So when I saw this, after I laughed hysterically, I said, "You've got to be kidding me, right?" Do you know how many times the word hoodlum, thug, goon? What am I missing? What else would be used? Those are pretty much it,
Sketchy.
right? Sketchy his background.
Yeah.
All these things would have come into play by now. It'd be all over the place on the Sly Fox. Shout out to Nas. I'm amazed. Like they looked over the whole. We're talking about cars literally being turned over and burned.
The police car, especially. I'm really thinking
the irony in the police car being flipped over and burned,
and them telling the police to relax.
Man, talk that talk, Jay Diff. Go ahead, Jay Moore. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I mean the thing is, you're surprised. I'm not surprised at all.
I shouldn't have said surprised. I should have known better.
The way.
Right.
A lot of times when it's a majority of black or brown people and a majority of white people are perceived in any public space, is always going to be there's always going to be it's going to be skewed differently depending on where they are and what's going on. Actually, even if you when things are comparable, just like we talked about, I think it was either last week or a couple weeks ago, when there's a rock group playing at a venue, and all of a sudden people are jumping out of the rafters and things are destroyed. They're like, top 10 rock and roll moments of all time. Wow, it's right. That's so rock and roll. But if let's break stuff. If there's a fight, 2 blocks up the street from a rap concert, we have to have this whole conversation. Like, does rap cause violence?
We got to shut it all the way down.
But not only that. That they threaten to shut it down, and the insurance goes up.
Yeah,
higher.
Insurance goes up. We can't have.
It happened in
artists.
Ripple. Yeah. Remember in Broad Ripple at what was that club? XN something or Land Sharks? One of the two.
Oh yeah,
might have been Land.
NYX. Yeah, something happened outside of that club.
Yeah, remember it was the 4th of July. There was somebody that got shot, and then they started bringing up flyers and saying, "Oh, this is."
They blamed it on Cash. They blamed it on DJ Cash's party.
I remember that.
Yeah. Which was
that place still sits empty.
Yeah, had nothing to do with Cash's party.
It was 2 blocks up the street. But hey, if we have to find a boogeyman for this, and when the boogeyman is usually hip hop, because people associate hip hop with just all black people at this time. There's still people who don't understand that this isn't what it is. Like if they want to put a face on something, they think, oh, it's only going to affect black teenagers.
That's so far. That's so far from That's so far from the truth, though.
So it's just once again, it's just the difference of how white and black people are perceived.
Perception
in public
is
spaces.
Everything. Yeah. What do you think about the? Were there a lot of thugs out there from what we've said and what we've described?
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on where I'm speaking from, right?
I'm having a Kermit the Frog moment.
Right.
I see you sipping your tea.
That's not tea though. It's all good though.
It's
Could
not.
be.
Could be.
Some of that humble tea.
I like the leaves on there though.
All right, please tell me more.
Yeah.
It's just the atypical double standard. Like I said, I haven't read or heard anything about any type of news organization talking about it at all, but I know that the conservative end of what's the word I'm looking for? Media.
Yes, we'll take that.
Tommy Lauren type people.
They're not going to treat it as such. They're not even going to address it. And the only way they will address it is if somebody like Hassan Parker says something to Tommy Lauren and she feels like she needs to respond back to it.
Yeah.
And then she's still going to undermine it.
Yeah.
Well, how can you compare, sports to politics?
Yeah.
It's going to be some stupid
There's
argument.
always some type of out.
Wale went in on Tommy Lauren too.
Good for Wale. I didn't get a chance to see.
They were
it, but
going
good
back
for
and
Wale.
forth.
Yeah,
he kept calling her Tammy.
Yeah.
It was funny. It's like,
he was
Tammy.
a guest, or he just was trolling her?
It was from a tweet.
Yeah,
from a tweet. Okay.
Responds to tweets randomly.
Shout out to Wale.
No, it just points to double standard, which we know about. Well, I don't want to say we know about. We know about.
Across the board, though.
In general, there's still, and it's going to continually, perpetually be there. There's
still the people out there that think that racism didn't come back into play until President Obama took office. They thought it didn't exist. And these are the people that voted for Trump as well.
Yeah. Racism ended in 1964. You guys didn't know that?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought you knew.
I'm coming back to loan, but I'm glad you said 45.
I'm glad you told me.
Go ahead,
man.
Go ahead.
Appreciate it.
Didn't you know? Yeah, it's just a perpetual thing. It's over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's realistically the same conversation over and over again in different ways.
Yeah.
It's some sort of subtle play off something. I don't know if this transitions into the other incident with the Colts player or not.
Speaking of that,
and the fact that the Colts player, what was his name that was hit by a drunk driver?
Linebacker Edwin Jackson,
and he was killed.
Him
and somebody else too. It wasn't just him.
Yeah, it was the Uber driver as well.
Yeah, this
guy was just saving up money to take his wife to the Olympics in 2020. That's why he was driving.
This came up on February 4th, and this is per ESPN staff writer Mike Wells. It says Colts linebacker Edwin Jackson was killed early Sunday morning after being hit by a suspected drunk driver along the side of Interstate 70 in Indianapolis, according to the Indiana State Police. It says Jackson and another person whose name was Jeffrey Monroe of Avon were stopped along the side of the road on I-70 when Monroe, who was believed to have been ride-sharing operator driving Jackson, got out of the car to help Jackson, who was sick. I think he might have been, throwing up or something. The driver of a Ford F-150 drove into the emergency shoulder, hit the rear of the car, struck both Jackson and Monroe, with one of the bodies landing in the center lane of I-70, according to the release from the Indiana State Police. And I think this kid was born in, 91?
Yeah,
so something like that. He's 26 years old.
Just really starting his, like I said, being 40, I can be like, man, just starting his life.
And I didn't even realize I don't know how old the gentleman was that was the Uber driver.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes to show you, man, like you really have to be cognizant of what you say to people sometimes when you see people, and don't take stuff for granted, because this is like a beyond tragedy when you think 2 lives were taken from someone that was just being careless. And
let's keep this conversation going then.
Yeah, and to put the icing on the cake, Mr. Irresponsible 45 decides to try to take a spin and use this as a springboard to talk about race relations. So Trump tweets, "So disgraceful that a person illegally in our country killed Colts linebacker Edwin Jackson. This is just one of many such preventable tragedies. We must get the Dems, for short for Democrats, to get tough on the border and with illegal immigration. Capitalized fast!" Exclamation point.
Well, if we had just built that wall, no one would ever die of drunk driving.
They're the only ones that are driving drunk, I guess.
Jump in, Lone.
Like you guys just covered, it shouldn't be hard to understand.
Yeah.
I've been engaging in conversation in the last 2 days on this, and it's put me at my wit's end because I don't really know what to say at this point. It's so frustrating to...
Hold on. So somebody actually is having a conversation about that incident and saying why that makes sense what he said?
Tell him who.
No,
you gotta do all that.
Don't do that.
We ain't going there.
I'll take that back. But he is correct. This is real. He told me the story. This is real.
Oh.
This is real. This is a real conversation.
Maybe you guys can explain it because I can't seem to explain
it.
But the issue is this. So I saw somebody share the article. It was a Fox News article.
Yep.
I didn't even see the Trump tweet at first. And it said, and it was just the title of the article was illegal immigrant was the one that was driving drunk and killed. And I was just like, well, that's poor. Like, you're taking away from the tragedy.
Yeah.
And you're politicizing it.
Yep.
So that's what I said. Mm-hmm. And then it ended up becoming a really long conversation about more and that, and then got into race relations as well, and our immigration reform, quote unquote, and the racism behind that a little bit. And apparently, I'm not describing it well.
Well,
no, you actually.
Well, I think it speaks volumes because the player that was killed and the driver, both African Americans. So apparently, Black lives do matter if they're killed by an immigrant.
Man, so, they tied that together so well.
Interesting twist.
Yeah. So I just think that first of all, thoughts and prayers to that family, man.
Right.
That's first and foremost.
You think that would start off the tweet? Wouldn't you think that would, even if you're going to be an idiot, wouldn't you have the empathy?
Unless he's going to tweet condolences to every person, because there's probably a bunch of people killed by drunk drivers.
I see where you're going.
This past weekend.
That's one of my arguments.
That's fair.
So
that's fair.
If he tweeted his condolences to the families of every person in a drunk driving accident, I'd be like, okay, well, I understand where he's coming from.
Yep.
But he chose this one specifically. He doesn't really care about this family and how they're feeling in this time of, somebody lost their child.
Yeah.
Somebody just in the beginning of their life lost their child.
Yeah.
Just getting ready to start to live a little bit. And you use that as an opportunity to get people on board to build a wall
and to push your agenda.
You don't have actually any genuine, I think the thing that is so bothersome to me about this particular president is he doesn't seem to have the basic human decency to express human compassion and not have it fit his own specific narrative. It's still, whatever it is, even when he's trying to say, so sorry for the family, it still comes back to him. And I think that's what's so bothersome about this particular situation, and why other people aren't just as bothered just speaks to where they are.
Right.
I told Lone.
And I got told that it spoke on how I was.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's, man, maybe that's because I can express basic human compassion towards people. Yes, that's where I am. And that's how I feel about the situation. I'm not worried about, putting a political spin on it. I think it's so senseless that, in 2018, that somebody got in a car and drove drunk and killed 2 people. That's where my head's at.
We always talk about people's perspectives, and Lone, we've talked about this a lot, actually, even on multiple episodes, where he always talks about from the white perspective, where he has to do so much to explain. He has to do so much to actually try to get it to tie in to people that might not understand without trying to, talk down to them or point fingers at them. And this is just another one of those situations, like you guys said, it's not about who said it, it's just about the topic in general.
It doesn't matter either.
It doesn't matter.
Like, it doesn't matter if I'm not attacking.
Yeah. So you say it doesn't matter at all?
I wasn't attacking at all this time. I was just.
I'm sure you were. I'm sure you were.
And
I'm sure you were.
It was just. It's just the defensiveness. It's the guilt. I think it's mixed the white guilt, not necessarily guilt per se, but why do I have to feel guilty for this?
I just don't
type of. It's that type of feeling, I guess, a lot of times. But anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you fine. I don't understand how. I guess I'm trying to do a better job of understanding and being more open-minded when I see things happen. But certain stuff, there's just no out for. Like, I couldn't find myself to even remotely think, okay, well, maybe he thought about, no, this is blatant. Mm-hmm. This is bad across the board. Like, I don't understand how you can try to tie race relations into a young man losing his life on the side of the road.
Or not even so much, not so much racially, but just tying nationalism. Just tying his political agenda. He can't just say, I feel sorry for this young man and his family killed by a drunk driver. Kids, please, could have just said, please don't drink and drive during the Super Bowl weekend.
Exactly.
But he had to, once again, he cannot express any compassion without making it about him, which means it's not really about expressing any
It's a real selfish perspective.
It's just selfish.
Very selfish.
The very basic of this whole point was just about compassion. It gets into race stuff once you start picking it apart a little bit and why people are speaking out the way that they are.
So you're saying just up front, the lack of compassion jumps out to the forefront, right?
That's the first thing that stuck out to me.
Right.
But then when you start digging at why people feel that way in the first place, then it's like, wow, you feel...
Yeah. It's speaking on a lot of people in today's America, though. Because that's why so many people get behind everything that he says and does, because it's speaking for them as well. These people feel the exact same way that Trump feels. That's why they really enjoy him not necessarily making sense at times and just spewing whatever he decides he wants to say. And they get all behind that every single time because these are the same things that they want to say. That's the reason why they love this dude. And everybody else is on the outside looking in at this point because it's like, how can y'all for real really respect this cat? I seen somebody that I know post a picture. It's like they're always trying to find something else on the other side. They posted a picture from last week's State of the Union address. Mm-hmm. And the caption said...
That's brought everything back up again, by the way, as well.
Yeah, certainly.
Good call.
The caption said, look at all the Democrats on their phones while Trump is being a humanitarian.
A humanitarian.
That's exactly what it said.
What it said.
So
okay.
it shows pictures
what we have
of a bunch
here.
of people like on their phones.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could have been at the State of the Union address or it could have been anywhere because who knows who puts together this stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
And then it shows him having the fake compassion for the guy with the
Civil War crutches.
The Civil War / glory crutches.
Yeah.
And I mean, and nothing against his situation or whatnot. We weren't poking fun at
we're
that.
not talking about him.
Right.
Which should be obvious.
Right.
You would think.
But, people will pick and choose like the whole conversation you had.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People will pick and choose
Yep.
what they want to be upset about. So to them, we're not humanitarians,
Yeah.
but Trump is, considering the State of the Union address.
Yeah.
But so how is Trump a humanitarian, though?
Based off what?
He cares about rich people. They're humans. Humanitarian. There you go.
There it is.
That's true. I mean, he does.
He does.
Tax plans say so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Actually sticks up for him a lot.
There's a woman who gets an extra $1.50 every paycheck now because of that tax plan. Paul Ryan tweeted all about it. He erased the tweet when he realized it's insensitive and foolish to point out that somebody gets an extra $1.50 every paycheck when there are people who got
26 million or something.
Yeah, when
or taking home bonuses off of this.
Yeah. But these people think they're doing us a solid.
No.
Right. That's the part.
I tell you, man.
Here you go.
We
go get yourself some bubble gum.
Yeah.
We continue to talk
Y'all still
about.
gonna be poor anyway. So.
It's interesting that a new president is going to arise in 2020. So now maybe everybody can see clearer.
Man,
I don't think so. I think
I wouldn't be surprised. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised if there's enough people out there to get this fool reelected.
No, I don't see that.
No, I see that.
I think it does.
I see that very, very clearly that he could be reelected in 2020.
I don't see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very possible.
I seen him getting elected this time.
I didn't.
But I see people who thought, because there was a lot of people that didn't vote, that were thinking there's no way this dude's going to be president.
I would agree.
So there's going to be a lot more people go out to the polls. I believe.
You're saying they'll take it more serious this time.
I'm hoping.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm hoping.
That's fair.
This is me putting the United States in the hands of the common.
But you know what?
Folk.
But you know what though? To kind of piggyback off that, I always try to monitor. Like, we've watched this grow from the time that he was elected to now, and I know people that I work with people that actually voted for him. Mm-hmm. So I've kind of sat back and monitored their reactions to things he's done. Mm-hmm. And it started off on level 10. Now, there's two types of people from what I've done just by watching. There's a person that started off on 10 and that was riding with him. That's still on 10. That's riding with him. And then there's the person that started off on 10 and now they're like embarrassed at like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So that's the part that makes me think there are millions of people that are still going to be on 10 3 years from now. Like, I think it's possible. I really think it's possible.
I think, sometimes when people you jump on somebody who think he's going to win, then you just got to ride with it. Mm-hmm. And you just going to continue to ride with it no matter what. Because you don't want to look, because you don't want to look like how blatant and oh man, I said all this stuff and then
See, the thing is, you can't
now that's
be concerned.
A good point. That's a good point.
We can't be concerned with, the people who didn't vote, because the thing is, the people who did vote for him look, there's a rise. Like he has overwhelming support within the Republican Party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's at first they were like, well, how is he going to get along with the establishment part of the GOP? He gets along with them just fine because you know what? He's taken it to a place where they would have been afraid to push it because they didn't want to seem a certain way.
True.
Very good point.
You know,
and they can just
the Tea
put it off
Partyism,
on him.
the Palenism, basically. Those were seen as fringe elements of the GOP. Now that is the GOP, and he embodies all of those things.
I know the same people who were against Palin love Trump.
Man.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we always talk about how much we have to address 45, and sometimes we think it's going to go away, but clearly he's going to keep us on our toes. Because
I think you're just making stuff up now.
Yeah.
I think we did
Fake
talk.
news.
I think we did talk about hopefully he would go away, but he's not going to go away.
It would be great if he went away.
You know what?
Agree.
I think if we did, he would just be spiteful. He's not going anywhere. That's the nature of his personality, I believe.
Well, I mean, hey,
just somebody say, you know what? You can't be president, and that's why we are where we are now.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
well, yeah.
But
Pulled it
I
off,
watched that Barack. He did the correspondence dinner where he just went in on Trump a couple years ago, and somebody commented, "Well, this is why we have Trump right now."
Right.
Yeah, man. Shout out to President Obama. He had a dope interview, dope sit down with Letterman.
Yeah, I watched that. That was pretty good.
Very good. I like Dave's new format too. I think it's on Netflix. If I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, shout out.
Makes you appreciate people like Barack all so much more.
Agreed.
You mean thoughtful people who speak in complete sentences?
Well, that as well.
Okay.
Real humanitarians.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see you.
And don't get it twisted. I got my problems with Barack too, but man,
Oh, man,
it's night and day though.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Let's jump into entertainment for a minute.
Entertainment.
We talked about we briefly talked about before we came on. Faizon out here in these streets.
Hey,
I like Faizon for the record now.
Dave Chappelle is not funny.
Shout out to Big Worm.
White people made Dave Chappelle.
man.
I fool with Faizon, but Faizon might be doing
That's
a
the
little
Cliff
too
Notes
much.
version.
We see you. He might be doing a little too much out here in these streets, dissing Dave Chappelle. And this all came from Monique asking for the paper. We all know the backstory with that, and she's
not really.
I mean,
Faizon has been hating on.
I'll put it to you this way: he has, but Monique brought it back up. Brought his hate back up to me because now it's like because every
correlation.
Every interview they've talked about Monique first and then they go into Chappelle.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is the thing. There's something underlying that he's not talking about that he does not like about Dave Chappelle.
I agree with that.
Because he's been saying this for a while now. He just keeps bringing it back up, and it's like, are you jealous of this man's success? Because you're big mad. To me,
big mad.
He's out here big mad.
He sounds very, very hurt for something. Yeah, he's hurt.
He said he claims that no black people rock with Dave Chappelle.
Well, we know that's a lie.
That is a falsehood.
Yeah.
That is Fox News.
Okay.
All lies.
Yeah.
I mean, he said that season 1 of the Chappelle Show was not funny.
I disagree.
Yeah, he said it didn't get funny until Charlie Murphy.
He did say Charlie
God
Murphy
bless
was
the
doing
dead.
a lot of writing.
Yeah, but when you think about the Clayton Bigsby, the man,
Come on,
real world,
man.
trading spouses.
Yeah, his skits were amazing.
His Lil Jon skit.
Yeah, like the first season of Chappelle's Show is incredible.
The Lil Jon skit became like iconic, man.
Yes.
Like everybody was saying, yeah, you know
It's
what I mean?
just
Like,
the
it was
second
crazy.
season
What?
when they did the Real Hollywood Stories with Rick James.
Yeah.
Like that took it to another level.
Man.
Like it went from being really good to like must watch TV.
Yeah.
I think
the Prince basketball game.
He keeps talking about his lack of quote unquote classic material.
Mm-hmm.
And he always says, well, when you think about Raw and you think about Delirious, you can automatically think about this, and this. I'm like, all right, I feel you, but there are also certain situations where I can think about this about Dave Chappelle. Like, it's not like all his material is whack. Does he have classic material? That's subjective. You can feel how you want.
Killing Him Softly is classic.
There we go. You know what I'm saying?
For
Chappelle
what it's worth,
Show,
period, is classic material.
I agree.
And
everybody's been trying to do that ever since the Chappelle Show.
Right.
No argument from me.
So It is what it is.
I'm just trying to figure out what's wrong because there's something to your point that we're missing because there's no way a grown man can be this mad about another comedian.
Yeah, man.
Especially if, Faizon, he getting his coins. Like,
he getting his bread.
Here.
Like, what's the problem?
And the thing is, like, if you're going to make that argument, I don't know, he doesn't have any classic material. I was like, look, I know who Faizon Love is from movies and TV. I remember
you were in a classic movie.
Damn show ain't
I don't remember any of your routines.
It damn show ain't stand up.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like, I think the stuff he did, because I remember the last thing I remember him doing. I remember his routine from not Dave Chappelle, but Def Comedy Jam. But that's because I'm old, and I remember watching that live. He had on the beanie and the Coming to America T-shirt with the slave ships on it. I remember seeing that, and I did think it was really funny. But of course, I was like 14, so I just thought curse words were funny.
Right.
But at the same time, that's the last time I remember seeing him on stage. I know him as an actor, being an elf, and some movie with Vince Vaughn.
So he's the boss in the mall on
yeah.
Right? That's who that is? Because I don't even know who that is.
Yeah.
So there's that.
So, but the thing is, like I said, he went on Breakfast Club, he went on Hot 90, he went on Sway, and made these whole claims about how Dave Chappelle ain't all that.
He's actually promoting something that he's working on, but nobody cares.
Yeah, I don't know.
Everything is about the Chappelle comments.
Well, that's probably the angle then.
I mean, it's probably it's really awesome clickbait if you think about it.
That's what I mean. Yeah. That's probably all it is.
There's a lot of people talking reckless on radio shows.
Yeah.
Who
else is talking reckless?
Migos.
Oh, boy.
You mean they were actually talking on the radio show?
They were with.
They must have got
Big
some media
Boy.
training.
They was with Big Boy.
I like Big Boy too. Big Boy does good interviews.
Big Boy's funny.
He's very funny.
Have you ever seen him on the bad dad jokes thing?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen that.
Those are hilarious.
Oh, word. I got to look that up. I didn't see that, but he does great interviews, has great guests. You know what I'm saying? He gets all the dope artists. Cube, like him and Cube had a great interview.
I can dig it. I mean, he's a vet out here. He's been
OG. No question.
Since he was for real Big Boy. He's Slim Big Boy now.
Yeah. You go out to the West Coast and you don't talk to Big Boy.
He's very well respected, but I don't agree with this shit.
Yeah.
Greatest group of all time, Migos.
Huh.
So I see what you did there.
Mama.
Hey. Okay.
That's what they said?
Y'all have had a good 2
Yeah.
years. You can't be the greatest of all time with a hot 2 years.
Hey, but Busy Bone, shout out to Bone Thugs and Harmony. Hey, he snapped about the notion.
He was not happy
Matter
about
of fact, I saw a response from him. Turk from the Hot Boys was like, what are you talking about?
Really?
Yes, I saw one from him.
What, Turk from the
Hot Boys? He did.
Yeah, he's home.
Yeah, he home. Turk home.
I know. I'm just saying.
He had a Hot Boys flashback. You know what I'm saying?
It took me a second to think. Wait, Turk. What?
Yeah.
Why is Turk relevant?
Turk from the Hot Boys.
I can name at least 3. I can actually name probably 5 groups better than the Migos of all time.
I think we all can. I think
Outkast is number 1
because they didn't even say rap group; they said group of all time.
That's what bothered me.
Yeah,
the rap bothers me.
If we just doing rap,
keep it to rap.
They're not even top 5.
They might not even be top 10.
Exactly. You got Outkast, Run DMC, UGK,
EPMD,
8Ball MJG,
Eric B and Rakim,
Mobb Deep,
Black Star.
Wow.
Hey, and Black Star only had 1 album.
I know. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
And and what the kids will say, we are the old heads that take.
They don't know nothing.
We don't talk about sales and
Little
you see
brother.
how they streaming and all
Easy.
that. So we have to separate the two.
Do we say Gangstar? Or do they count? Nah.
Yeah, Gangstar.
maybe.
Yeah, they count.
They're better than Migos.
Then Slum Village.
Slum Village will count.
Wu-Tang Clan.
Wu-Tang.
Jesus, what are we doing?
I know. That's what I mean. Like we could.
It goes
we could
on
easily.
and on.
Jazzy Jeff and the
on.
Fresh Prince.
I don't know about them.
I know about that.
Busy was shouting out all the plaques that he had from stuff.
You
that
can
Ed
see
did.
him on the.
Yeah.
Where
This is when people actually had to go buy records. They just didn't have
Stream
a
'em.
decent.
Now I will
internet
get like
connection.
as I always say when we talk about them, I will give them credit because everybody's biting their style now, so they're very influential. I get it, but we talking about
This doesn't take away from what they are.
no, I'm
Right.
not. Yeah, they getting it. Like get your bag. I'm not knocking
I mean,
that.
people.
But when we talk
bit
about
the franchise boys.
Look, 13 years ago, people were
They
biting
did.
the Yin
They
Yang
did.
twins.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're right.
So yeah,
You're right. They did. That was a bad era, but it happened.
yeah, it did.
I agree.
Laffy Taffy,
I was
D
just about to say
Pharrell.
D. Pharrell's.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. We got. That's where we got all that.
Yeah.
Dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun.
They were really big for probably about what, a good year and a half, 2 years.
That's all that played.
Summer.
Shouts to the Ramada in Anderson, Indiana.
Ooh,
I remember that.
You got to be an Anderson person to know about that.
I know about it, and I'm from here.
Man,
they play that music there was so bad.
Yeah, that place is yeah.
But it was a Thursday night staple. So
yes, it was. Yeah,
a lot of Migos are the greatest group of all time.
A lot of foolishness at the Ramada. But yeah, apparently they're the greatest group of all time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're gonna go to sales. I ain't gonna know. If you're gonna go music, I ain't gonna know. If you're gonna go.
What about that culture too?
Walk it like a talk it. Walk it like a talk it.
Hey,
I mean, they got catchy shit. I give them that. But there's no way that you're gonna come out here and claim that you are the best group of all time. My man Jay Moore and myself, this is actually the shout out a No Soul party this weekend.
Okay.
Featuring one of the greatest groups of all time.
What group would that be?
That would be the New Edition, sir.
I like it. Now that is all time.
I agree with that.
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
So,
but Migos, nah, B. There's groups that I don't even rock with like that I would say are better than Migos. Nickelback.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm just playing.
Yeah.
That was a joke.
And in the comments, because the thing is, I always hear people talk about Nickelback, and I just don't. I was like, I would say, I'm going to say it. White people, please tell us exactly why Nickelback is so bad.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand too,
because you don't know either.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, other white people.
My Nickelback game is low, so
mine is too.
I have.
I'm just running with the running joke.
Because my thing is like, how can they be that bad to where they're the butt of everybody's jokes? Somebody goes to see them.
I'm sleeping.
Dave Matthews Band's the same way. People don't like Dave Matthews Band the same way. And I
thought they were mad popular, man.
Because they like come here every summer and sell out 2 shows on like a Friday and a Saturday or a Saturday and Sunday.
But I know people who would admit to liking Dave Matthews Band. Yeah. I don't know anybody who admits to liking Nickelback.
No.
Man,
what's a Nickelback song?
Where do you think you live?
I don't know.
If you like Nickelback, it's got to be someplace where.
Yeah.
Is it a rural community?
Is it close to Canada?
You know?
You have to be kind of close to Canada like Nickelback.
What about
where are they from? Are they from Canada?
I think so. I don't know.
You said you got to be close to the border. So Nickelback might be what? I don't know.
They're old. I mean, they're not old, but they've been around for a while.
Oregon, Seattle, I don't know, somewhere up.
You just
north.
making some shit.
Yeah,
up.
I don't know. I'm just guessing. In Nebraska.
We'll look them up.
I'm gonna look them up right now.
Look them up, man. I bet you they from out that way. I'm just guessing. They could be from Indiana. I don't know.
I want to give another shout out to Jay Moore. I seen something interesting on a post.
Oh, they are Canadian.
Oh,
okay.
Hannah, Alberta, Canada.
Okay.
They pop up there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Post-grunge, hard rock, pop rock, alternative metal rock.
Let's get it. But nah, Jay Moore's dad was featured in a publication that everybody grew up with on their coffee table. And I thought that was very impressive.
Jet Magazine, man.
Yeah,
that was on the. He was on the cover of Jet Mag. Not the cover. No, I'll take that back. He was.
You just took it there. You just kept going.
I was like,
I was gonna roll with it though.
No.
It's still lit though.
He had a series of magazines with Jet.
I was gonna roll with it. Yeah,
Jet Magazine. He was in. It was October 1978. He got a promotion to RJR, and which eventually became Nabisco. I mean, he was one, just like a lot of people who were in corporate America at that time. Yeah, you might have had the same desk, but you worked for about 5 different companies.
That's what's up.
And so, I remember seeing this issue of Jet at my grandmother's house, and the thing is, I found like Google Books has like a whole archive of every Jet magazine that you can just go on. And so it was my dad's birthday. And so I was like, let me see if I could find that somewhere on the internet. I was able to find it actually relatively easy, but it was just crazy because you know, they don't make Jet Magazine anymore, which I miss. Like, and
Who
not
was
just
the beauty of the week.
I can't remember her name. And she was in there.
Yeah,
she was in there.
Yeah. That was like the only color page,
right?
Other than like the Newport advertisements.
Yeah. Where everybody was having a good time smoking cigarettes.
Oh man, Virginia Slims, you've come a long way, baby.
Straight up.
Those old advertisements are so foul.
Old McDonald's ass and shit.
Oh man, but yeah. So it was just very cool. Like, and the thing is, you know, if you got a promotion in Black America, they were probably, this is, you know, when we was first getting our foot in the door and whatnot.
That's dope,
you know,
man.
That was the thing.
Dope.
That was the thing. So shout out to Jet Magazine,
yeah,
Johnson Publishing Company, you know, all that.
How many people could say that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My pops was in Jet.
Look, I was hoping one day I'd do something to be able to get in Jet, but it's too late. Yeah. Jet's not around anymore.
We'll try to get you in a source or something. Shoot. If they even do that anymore.
Hey, I remember looking at the back of the Jet magazine for like the top
the top
10.
Yeah.
And
the music.
There was another list. There was 2.
They would do the top albums and the top singles.
The top 10 was
the
on
top
the
20
back.
actually. It was top 20.
Top 20.
Was it the back page or was it on the back? I can't remember.
No, it was in the back couple of pages.
Okay.
So,
but he's right though. Yeah, that was cold. That's something that we always look forward to.
Yeah, because when I first moved into my place, like one of the first things I did, I got my own subscription to Jet. I felt like that was something I should do if I got my own place. I should have some Jet magazines.
I wonder if you
have all the beauties of the week on your wall.
I wonder if you can still.
I wasn't living like that, but yeah.
I wonder what some of the coldest Jet covers were, and if you can get like
posters
of those or something.
You could get them. I mean, I don't know if you get posters of them, but
Well,
they're all available online.
But you could probably get them and put them together. Like in one poster or something.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of dope.
In fact, the Jeffersons were on the cover.
Yeah,
the one my
that.
dad was on.
That's dope.
Was in. Right.
You keep adding to the story, brother.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sherman Hemsley.
Yeah, Sherman Hemsley and Isabel Sanford. They was on there holding it down for Black TV that season.
Shouts to defunct magazines.
Yeah.
I still have a lot of Scratch magazines.
Scratch, Scratch was so dope.
I have all my Scratch magazines.
I have the very first XXL magazine. Not the very first King magazine.
I had the very first XXL magazine. I think it had Jay-Z on the cover.
I had Jay-Z and Master P because they would always do double covers.
I got hype about Scratch. I did. I used to love that magazine.
It was great. I remember we were talking about it. I remember because you told me about it, and I was like, "Oh, for real?" Went and ordered that.
Producers, it was cold.
It's like, oh, there's a magazine for producers.
I still got magazines at my mom's house. She keeps telling me I need to come get.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never got rid of magazines. I kept I still have a couple of the. Remember when Vibe and it was like they were compete with Rolling Stones, so they were really big.
Yeah, I remember.
You know, and then Rolling Stone, then they shrunk down. Rolling Stone has shrunk down now too. Like a Rolling Stone magazine is only like 45 pages because print is dead.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Shouts to Egon Spengler.
Okay.
Hey, classic.
She's like, I like to read a lot. I bet you like to read. Print is dead. That's fascinating.
That was an 84, son. Some of y'all know exactly.
He synced the future.
Exactly.
Shout out to Egon, man.
I collect spores, moles, and fungus.
Some of y'all have no idea. It's from the movie Ghostbusters. Go back and research it.
Egon was that dude, though, low key. Low key, he was that guy. They kind of played him a little bit. But
I think they're more interested in my epididymis.
Did y'all watch Stranger Things?
Yeah.
I don't want to.
I'll be honest.
So there's a scene in the new season of Stranger Things where the kids are discussing who they're going to be, which one of the Ghostbusters.
That was a great scene.
For real?
Nobody wanted to be, what's his name?
Winston
Zedmore.
There were two Hickmans.
Nobody wanted to be Winston because Winston didn't do shit.
He wasn't a real Ghostbuster at first, you know?
Exactly.
He wasn't a scientist.
So
they brought him on, you know what I'm saying?
You got the black kid. He doesn't want to be Winston. The other dude is like, well, you're supposed to be Winston. He is like,
why?
Well, I'm supposed to be black. I'm supposed to be Winston because I'm black. He's like, Winston didn't do shit.
He was like, well, well, I'm Venkman.
Yeah. Classic scene.
Man.
And they always left Winston out of the video game, too. Or if they did, they would make him white.
But if you think about it, though,
interesting.
His
I don't even remember
his scenes was hot though, like especially in 2, the train
video game
scene
was trash.
It
the
was.
The one on
not the new one you got though, the updated version that was cold.
But I remember the Sega Genesis version. I was like, "Where's Winston?"
It's kind of like, remember Moonwalker?
He's like
the Genesis
QB12
version was not like the arcade version.
Oh yeah, the arcade version was because it was 3 players.
Yeah,
the Proton Pack on the first Ghostbusters game was trash. I'm sorry.
The one on NES was, you know what? Winston should be glad he wasn't in that video game because it was awful.
But he had some of the coldest scenes, though. The fight scene out the sewer, the train scene. But that's kind of 2, though.
That's not kind of, it is.
I'm talking about the 2. It was 2 people. It was him and Dan Aykroyd. It was fighting, no?
Yeah, it was them too. Yeah.
But
slinging slime all over the.
Yeah. I fool Winston. We rock with you, Winston.
Had that Bobby Brown single.
Shout out to Ernie Hudson. Yeah. Shout out to Ernie Hudson. Yo, it was the 80s. We're not making fun of Winston. Ernie Hudson held us down the best he could.
That is true. But the situation.
Yeah.
Hey,
You got to understand a kid not wanting to necessarily be Winston
because he didn't show up till like the movie was over.
He wasn't a for real scientist.
Bill motherfucking Murray.
Yeah. Winston ordered
Groundhog Day Ghostbusted ass Murray.
He answered an ad in the paper. He was like, "Y'all hiring?" I was like, yeah, man.
I'm here.
He said, "I'll believe anything as long as there's a steady paycheck."
Yeah, straight up.
All right, man. We can wrap it up.
Great, you're hired.
What's popping? I know we already talked about it, but we don't mention anything that's popping this weekend. Double back.
This weekend, I think 𝐀𝐿𝐹 is actually showing, having a showing of the 13th Amendment.
They are. Is it this week or is it? It has to be this week.
I think it's this week.
Because next week is the build.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I'd actually like to go to, but it's from 6 to 8.
Yeah, it's a wrap from
There's also
what we got, Jay Moore?
We kind of discussed it
a little bit.
All right, so since tonight, Thursday, it'll be 𝗏𝗏𝗄𝐻𝐲 with me. It's going to be Lemmy, Vice, and Action Jackson. Tomorrow night, Friday, will be the New Edition Icon Party. If you haven't already got your tickets, get them now because it sold out last year, and we had to turn about 150 people away.
It was packed.
It's lit.
So definitely get your tickets for that. That's going to be at the Jazz Kitchen with me, DJ Metronome, and Sounds by Todd.
Nice.
Saturday night, I will be at the Casbah with DJ Obi-Wan. And then, of course, Tuesday, and every Tuesday, it's Take
Like
That
clockwork.
Tuesday. Me and DJ Metronome hold it down, 12 years long, 12 years strong. And we're going to be announcing the 12-year anniversary very, very soon, so be on the lookout for that.
Indeed.
Word.
There's a DJ I want to be on that show.
And
DJ 𝗏𝗏𝗄𝐿 𝗲𝐿. No, not really.
Yeah.
Not me. That's not
That's-
my DJ name.
is
Damn,
that-
I just revealed my special DJ name.
Oh,
Cardboard
wow.
crib, son.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
I don't know. It's just
Spinning on your lips and shit.
I guess
All right.
All right. Yeah.
𝗏𝗏𝗄𝐿 𝗲𝐿, man. That's what I've
Maybe-
always wanted to be.
Make that main. You can make that mainstream.
Maybe we can co-manage it. Make sure he gets booked. You
Yeah,
wanna do that?
definitely.
Yeah. And he
Is there
always-
anything else? I know there's a lot going on. The next Friday or next Saturday, the 17th, is the Dre Dilla show.
Yeah.
at
Yes,
Jazz
the Dre
Kitchen.
Dilla show. That's very big.
has a dope contest involved
Hey,
as well.
and also, like, y'all can really get this $600. I
Yeah.
know a lot of talented producers and MCs out here. If you're watching, you're in the Indianapolis area. If you're not, and you want to
We should probably just talk
come
about
show out,
it. So what it is you have until the 15th, which is less than a week now,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
to submit a 3-track project. If you go to Bringing Down the Band, actually on the top, the banner, it scrolls through 3 different pictures. There's a Dilla picture on there. Click on that. It takes you to a post. But on that post, it'll talk about the contest and how to get involved. It's a producer and MC together. The producer has to flip 3 samples that Dilla sampled on Donuts or reinterpolate them.
Yeah.
And the MC has to write songs based on the topics of the original samples.
They performed these as well.
And then
correct?
then they have to submit us the project. Doesn't
Okay.
have to be mastered recordings. Just give us something to know that you're actually invested in it.
Yep.
And then we'll select you. You get to go and perform for $600, and the winners gets it. And it's outside of being a Dilla party, the official Dilla party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the James Yancey Foundation, and
Which
and
is a
then
very good look for us
It is.
to,
Great
to
look.
have that
Part-
super official.
We
for
appreciate
the
that.
part of the proceeds will go to the foundation. And
Certainly.
then there's also the Dre party afterwards. So
Word.
Yeah.
I'll
So
be
that's
DJing that.
so. Shout out to Terry for getting that as well, because you'll be on the 1s and 2s.
Mhm.
That's gonna be dope.
So yeah, Old Soul Entertainment is holding it down for the
Indeed.
next couple of weekends.
I mean,
with the New
they
Edition
never
Icon
really
Party.
stopped, though. I'll just
Yeah.
put
Good
that
point.
out
We
there.
can put that out there.
Yeah.
So the bag is there.
Yeah.
The bag is there.
and that is a co-sponsored Bringing Down the Band event.
Yes, indeed.
Word.
we
Just
see.
so you
we
know.
see. Long.
$600 is up for the grabbing. I mean,
That's a pretty good bag.
that is.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Chop
I'm
that
dropping
right-
my album on the 14th too.
Okay, pick that up.
Yeah.
It's very.
We
Stream
need a
that.
video
It's very good.
for
Yeah.
a joint off that.
Yeah, his album is very good.
Yeah, it
I
is.
Got a chance to hear it a long time ago
Yeah.
because I'm plugged on that.
Straight up.
Anyways,
So that's going to do it for episode 67. We appreciate all the support as always. Remember, search us on Patreon as well. Follow us on Instagram, bringingdowntheband.com. We're on Twitter, New Old Heads. I'm Major7, Lonegevity,
Yep.
DJ Jay Diff. As always, Jay Moore, Mr. Wavy. And we will catch you all next week.
That's
Peace.
right. Shout out DJ Spoolz will be back in the
Yes,
saddle
sir.
next week.
Word.
You know what it is.
Free McMill.
Birdman hand rub.
Yeah.
bitches.
So I tells the bitch.